Okay. So what we're tying tonight is a thin mint bugger, and I first became aware of this several years ago on the Wisconsin fly fishing forum, where a lot of guys use them, and then I learned how to tie the pattern on from a guy named Kurt Kopala that I ran into. He used to lead a class up at Horns Rod and Reel, and then I saw a video of tying it also from Tightline Video, Tim Flagler. I tied it, and basically Kurt and Tim tied it was pretty much the same. There with a few minor differences. So basically, if you go to Tightline Video and you on YouTube and you check out Tim Flagler's, I'm tying mine basically the same way he ties his. So anyway, this is just a woolly bugger is a pretty simple pattern to tie, really, but this one is a little more tricked out. It's not really that hard. There's some extra steps in it that you wouldn't see in a normal woolly bugger. I use this quite a bit, especially when I go up to the Driftless or other trout streams. If I don't see any activity going on, I'll take out one of these thin mints and just cast it across and down. And it's been a very effective fly for me. Now, would this work better than a regular woolly bugger? Well, I don't really know, but it's my primary woolly bugger that I use now, or my primary prospecting fly, I should say, if nothing else is happening. So the fly itself was developed in, I believe it was like 1981 or 1982 by Jim Misiura in Pennsylvania, and it's enjoyed a fairly wide following. So I've seen several YouTube videos on how to tie this, and guys tie it different ways. This is the most common way with the black marabou on top, the brown in the middle, and the olive on the bottom. And so this is the way I've been tying it. I've seen other guys where they put the olive on the top and black on the bottom, which doesn't really make much sense to me, because usually on any aquatic organism, the lighter side is always on the bottom and the darker side is always on top. So this time I'm sticking with it, and let's get started. So, oh yeah, what I'd like to do also is we can do this. If you guys like, what I can do is I can demonstrate one, and then we can do a tie along later.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna take this off, and then take your hook out of your. Oh no, we need the kits passed out first. Oh yeah, okay. After I tie it first. Okay. So anyway, got a little confused. So anyway, we're gonna take these, put it in the vise. It's this is a 3x long 10 streamer hook with a 7/64 gold bead on it. You can nope, there we go. And you know what I forgot to do is I don't have my thread. I'll tell you what, I'll just use red thread. I'll just use red thread. Oh, let's see.
Stick it up, stick it up in the bottom.
Oh, how's that work? That's what I'm not familiar with. Oh, okay. Oh, there it goes. Just use it from the bottom. I see.
Okay. There it goes. In the wrong light, though, I can't even see this thread.
Yeah. Yeah, this is 8/0, so okay. You can use 6/0 or 8/0 thread on that. Thread to me is really not that important. I like using a thinner thread because it just reduces the amount of buildup, especially around the eye. So anyway, we're gonna start tying it. And I will have to take my mask off though, because I will have to slip down some of this marabou though. I always use saliva to thin it out. So I'm just going to snip this off. And okay. And now we're going to take our olive marabou. One thing I would recommend too is that I have woolly bugger marabou. If you can get the blood quills, the blood quills to me work better for this type of fly, but I can still make them work. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Nope, this looks a little better. And then what I like to do is just try and oh, wait a minute. Snip this off. Excuse me, there, guys. I just gotta snip this off. Okay. That's done. Okay, let me try one more here. Way to go.
Trying to flip the stem off the top, so you don't have stem in the tail. Take it out of the packet.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it goes like this. And so what I like to do is I like to thin it down a little bit so it stays on top a little better. Yeah, if you guys see anything better, yeah, please feel free. I'm not a master tire, and and believe me, I do things wrong from time to time, and I'm always good for suggestions. So we tie this on top, and so we'll secure this down a little bit. I like to start tying right by the right where the hook barb starts on this, and then I like to have a little bit of a bulky, a little bit of a thicker bodied woolly bugger on this. So I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie this the stem down. Yeah, snip some of this off. It's just getting in the way now. Okay. Okay, so check, make sure this is on top. Make sure it's exactly on top. So the problem with this fly is that, you know, when you put 3 different types of marabou on there is that, you know, a lot of times they'll slide from one side to the other. So anyway, this is our, this will be our brown marabou here. And this is more of a blood quill, looks like. I want to put this directly on top, like this. Check. Yeah, that looks okay. Just a little better here. Does that work? Work just fine. This goes up here. Now, teach me check that out first. Okay. All good. Take our black marabou. Okay. And we'll put this on top right here. Snip this off. Okay. Okay, like I said, there's easier ways. Sure, there's easier ways to do this, but I haven't discovered them yet. So we're just going to have to go with what I'm doing. Okay, next step is we will take our marabou, and this is going to be this is going to add a little flash to it. Obviously, that's why it's called marabou, I guess. Snip that off. I think in each of the kits, I just put one strand of flash in there, so you may need more, but I've got plenty of it, so nope, it won't be a problem. So I like to flip this up a little bit and just have tie on top, and then mine's jumping forward. Jumping forward a little bit. So I'm going to give us a good counterclockwise twist, and so it's going to behave itself a little better. Move this down a little bit. Okay. Check that out. Okay, that's a little wrong, but that's fine. We can worry about that later. Okay. So we're going to take this end, and then we're going to flip this thing over, and then we're going to tie it in like this. This one is always the tricky part right here. Was getting the marabou straight on this. It seemed like it would always move on me no matter what I did. So, but this is always, that was the trickiest part. The rest of it is pretty simple after this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to snip this off, and then I'm going to tie this piece of flash glue on. And I'm going to take the copper wire. I'm going to tie the copper wire on too. Yeah, this looks good. Okay. I can find the, okay, come on, there you are. Oh yeah, that's because I didn't, hold on. Okay. Break that off. Nice thing about fine copper wire is that you don't have to worry about cutting it, it just breaks right off. Okay, let's tie this in. Okay. Let me go back here, and let me see where did I put my, here is my peacock curl. And we're going to get 3 strands of peacock curl. And okay, we have 4 here. We can take one off, I guess.
How many?
3. It's again, this is not a hard and fast rule. It's just something I like to work with. But let me see. I got one more. My rules for fly tying are more like suggestions. I'd snip off the brittle ends here. The ends of the hurl tend to be brittle and they snap off. So I like winding with the butts because they're much stronger. So we're going to take this and then we're going to wind and we're going to tie our peacock curl in, and this is going to give us a nice. Okay, so a peacock curl is tied in. I always just do one peacock curl. I always just either wind it around the thread or make a rope out of it. And when I watched Tim Flagler's video on tying thin and bugger, what he did was he would leave the thread down here, and then he would just wrap it forward, keeping the thread in front of the hurl, and it works real nice because it keeps the hurls from separating, and you know, so that, and also so that they're less likely to break too. You don't need to put as much force on them either. So this is always, so I find myself really liking this method. Okay, so I'm going to tie this off. And we are done with our peacock girl. You can see we got a nice little stout body here. And so then we're going to take our, I'm going to throw in a whip finish on here too, just so this doesn't come undone. So anyway, take our hurl, or I mean our flash glue. Then I'm going to counter wrap it, and let me go back here. I'm just going to counter wrap this through. And we'll have a nice flashy, shiny body here. Then we are going to cut that off. And then I'm going to take a hackle feather and pull this off, strip this off, strip all the fuzz off at the bottom, and now what I like to do is, let's see how good the light is here so I can see it well enough, but I like to cut off the some of the fibers here and just make short little nubs on them. It seems like it grips the thread pretty well and makes the hackle feather less likely to pull out. Now also, if you want, you can also just tie it in by the stem and then just fold it over and tie over that. And that'll hold it, and that'll hold the hackle feather in pretty well too. So I'm just going to tie this, oops, get this out of the way. I'm just going to tie this in. I'm going to bend this over just to be doubly sure. So nothing worse. Okay, that's not going anywhere, it looks like. At least I hope not. So going to cut this off. And then I'm going to throw another whip finish in here just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I get a little anal about these things sometimes, so you have to bear with me. Okay, so we're going to wrap our hackle feather. And so put this up front, and then we're going to just widely spaced hackle, turns of hackle. And then we're going to take it back here and wrap it off here. And then we're going to tie this off with our copper wire. I like to use 2 turns on it. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but I like doing it anyway. And then we're just going to whittle this through our, our hackle feather, our hackle, just to avoid pinning down any of the fibers on this. And yeah, it looks okay so far. And yeah, this is kind of a nice way of doing things too. One of the problems I always have with tying woolly buggers a lot of times is you build up a lot of bulk at the head, and you can get around some of that by using a thinner thread or just using less material. But I find this works really well to just tie the hackle in the front and then work it back and then just tie the wire through it and just helicopter this off and throw a whip finish on here. And I put enough whip finishes on here, huh? Okay, anyway. I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on here, anyway, this water-based glue, and clip off that that hackle stem there. Okay, and we trim this off a little closer to the body. And let me get this one just a tad bit closer to, I think. That doesn't matter to the fish, but anyway, this is a thin mint bugger.
Nice.
So let's look at it.